Alright, just before the video begins, I want to point out that I'm gonna have some weird problems with my audio in this video, as you'll just hear everything echo, because you'll hear my desktop audio instead of my actual voice, so everything will sound like it's echoing, and you can probably hear everything that I'm doing to using my keyboard, someone entering the room, or just fans and ACs blowing. So, sorry about that. I'll try to fix my audio whenever I can, and hopefully double check my audio, because I don't want you guys hearing everything that I'm doing, because that's probably just a little tad bit annoying. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, like the video, and always check out the original video before checking out my reactions, so you can support the original creators. Love you guys. Hello everyone, welcome back to the reaction theater. Nearly ran into the glass right there. Today we are going to watch, I believe it's in here, the entire FNAF timeline by the YouTuber FNAF. And there's also two new movie tickets. We got Himitsu Sentai Gorenja and Kamen Rider Ichiko. And over here we have two more. We got My Street Episode 1 and Mortal Kombat 9 Complete Story. Yeah, from the looks of it, we're gonna go be able to watch those very soon enough. But also, please note, if you guys enjoy this video, please make sure to like, comment, below, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you guys know when I make. Also, be sure to check out the original videos of the people who made these videos, because I don't want to steal money from them, and they make cool. These people are making cool videos for me to react to. And whether or not it's me attending to my childhood nostalgia, or me actually reacting to something very, very new, and that I'm not familiar with. It could be something like that. And honestly, also, remember to comment down below what you want me to react next. I'm giving you guys the incentive to put things in comments. I can't talk properly, but I'm letting you guys do that. You guys can suggest anything. It could be, I don't know, I don't know, it could be some VTuber moaning or something.
It's vibrating.
We're going to watch the FNAF's entire timeline. Last time we watched Game Theory's timeline of Five Nights at Freddy's, and oh my god, we watched okay, not two timelines, I would say like a timeline and a half. Yeah, the first timeline was not a timeline at all. It was very hard for me to just follow along by myself. So yeah. Yeah, the first time it was hard for me to follow along, and I did not appreciate that. My brain was fried. The second timeline was a better job, honestly, aside from me cutting like the 5-minute rants from Matt Pat. Everything was going fine until, oh, what's this? I'm going to continue talking. Everything was fine with the second timeline, apart from part 4 of the timeline for Matt Pat. So hopefully FNAF does a better job. And also, I have got myself a drink, Gold Peak sweet tea. And, you know, I've been thinking about it, and since this is like a movie theater, this is a time for me to react, hang out, chill. I was thinking maybe I should just gather. Oh wait, this is the FNAF World trailer. Oh my god. Anyway, as I was saying, okay, maybe I should play FNAF World. If you guys want me to play FNAF World, that'd be fun. That'll be funny. Like the video if you guys want FNAF World. Oh, and the trailer is about to start in about like 6 seconds, and I wanted to talk about how since this is a reaction theater and how I'm supposed to be enjoying myself like it's a movie theater and how there's snacks, I was thinking, you know what, maybe each reaction theater I have a drink or a snack with me, or I'm eating something. I don't know. how I feel about that. I'll probably try with that
Five
format
Nights
for a
at
bit,
Freddy's
but
is a
I
franchise
think it'll
with
be
over
like a good
decade's
format.
worth of content,
Anyway.
spanning countless games, books,
Alright.
and now a movie. There's
Alright.
a reason that no matter whose timeline you watch, they all look different. Making a FNAF timeline is not easy. There are so many ways you can interpret this story, and this is mine.
Alright,
So
I
let's start
appreciate how this is.
at the beginning.
I appreciate how this is being set
Back
up.
in the 70s, a company called Fazbear Entertainment got its start by creating different props and mascot costumes for carnivals, and specifically for something called the Fall Fest. The Fall Fest featured various mascot characters, such as a bird, an elephant,
Okay,
and the most
I
popular
remember
of
now.
all, Fredbear
This
and
is made
Bonnie.
before
These specific
Secret of the
mascot
Mimic was
costumes were
released.
so popular,
So,
Fazbear Entertainment opened
this
a
part is
dedicated
not
restaurant for them
really
called
great.
Fredbear's Family Diner.
This first
featuring
part,
the
not
same
great, but
Fredbear and Bonnie
everything else,
mascot
good.
costumes from the Fall Fest. What Fazbear Entertainment didn't account for, though, was one of their animatronics from the Fall
God, I
Fest
love Gold
going
Peak
rogue,
and their sweet teas. I should get more.
ending in a giant fire, with most of everything from the Fall Fest being destroyed.
Alright, I like how this is being set up. It's being cinematic, while also giving little bits of detail and explanation. Not entire 5-minute rants. I'm glad. So far, this is becoming a little better than MatPat's timeline, I'll be honest.
The specifics about the animatronic that went rogue and the fire are unknown, and will likely be revealed next year in FNAF's next big release. Although we don't know much about how this fire occurred, we do know that after the fire, Fazbear Entertainment started phasing out of the mascot costume era. They needed something new. The two men who helped found Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton and Henry Emily, stepped up to the plate. William Afton was mostly the
depiction
businessman,
of William is
handling
just this
all of the
purple
money,
guy
while
sprite.
Henry was the more creative one, with him being in charge of building most of the animatronics and props for the company. With the Fall Fest era of the company coming to a close, they were only left with Fredbear's Family Diner, the standalone restaurant created for the Fredbear and Bonnie characters. In order to replace the mascot versions of Fredbear and Bonnie, Henry went to work on new versions of the characters, eventually creating the new Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The same characters, but with new designs and new suits. Henry
It's
called
kind of
these
visually
Spring Lock
appealing
suits.
with like the
These
whole
suits are able to
animations.
double as both an animatronic and a suit
You know?
that the employees could wear. To switch the suit from
And you know,
animatronic
unllike
mode to
game
suit
theory,
mode,
it's
the employees could use
like
hand cranks
it's like
to pull back the
settling. This
animatronic
video is
parts,
like
making
settling
room
me
for them to
into
climb
like what's
inside. The
happening.
spring locks that were helping to hold
Like,
back those
like
animatronic
sure,
parts were
like
very
the second
sensitive,
timeline
and with
I
even a
talked
little
about
bit of
like
moisture, the spring locks could potentially snap shut,
giving
and
markers
killing
on
whoever
what
was
where
inside.
information
But
was
if that ended up
stated,
happening,
what they
Fazbear
came up with,
Entertainment had
you
some
know,
common
gave
sense
video
procedures set in place.
thumbnails and titles. You know, but this, no, I like this. This is good. This is easing me into the timeline and not acting like I've been like a
Fredbear's
big
Family
time
Diner ended up being
fan of the
super
channel,
successful
you know?
for William
It's
and
like,
Henry.
I don't,
So
you
much
know,
so
I have a
that
lot,
other
you know, I like
companies
the game
tried
theory and all, but
replicating
it's
it.
not like I
Another
watch
company
all
proceeded
the
to
game
rip
theory
off
videos, you
Fazbear
know?
Entertainment's
So I
old
like how
mascot
FNAF's
characters by creating
video
their
is setting
own
up, you know,
animatronic
settling me
versions of
in.
them.
I like
The leader
it.
of the group was Nedbear, a
I'm
direct
not
copy of
losing my mind
Fredbear,
right now,
followed
so
by a
that's a good
hippo,
thing.
an elephant, and a frog. All characters from the Fall Fest, and all with slightly different designs to avoid copyright issues. But while the rival company
Like how
was able
the
to
whole
replicate
thing
the
about
designs, they
FNAF
could not
really just
replicate
involves
Henry's
copyright
state-of-the-art
and
technology.
child neglect.
Their
I really
robots
do like
were
that.
poorly made and had to have giant batteries with exposed wires on stage with them.
Okay.
Naturally, the rival company failed and ended up
So,
being bought out by Fazbear
this
Entertainment.
timeline
With all of
explains
the
that
success from
the
Fredbear's Family
mediocre
Diner,
melodies
William and
are
Henry decided to
knockoffs,
branch out
and they
create
suck.
more characters for a
And-
new
and
restaurant.
okay,
In
I like how this
1983,
timeline
William
is.
and Henry opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, featuring Freddy Fazbear,
Because the information we
Bonnie,
have
Chica,
is that
and
William
Foxy.
and
With the
Henry
opening
were
of Freddy
already a
Fazbear's
thing
Pizza,
during
Fazbear
the
Entertainment was
before the
experiencing
Fredbear era,
success
I
like
think.
they'd never seen before. But
Maybe?
with
I don't
two
know.
restaurants now open at the same time, more success also meant more work for William and Henry. The duo
Sounds about
were
right.
so wrapped up in work that they started neglecting their own families.
Yeah.
William was the father of
This
three
is what
kids, the
FNAF is
eldest,
really
Michael,
about.
the
It's
crying
about
child,
child
and Elizabeth.
neglect
The crying child has yet to have a 100%
and business.
confirmed name, so for this
And
video,
also
he will just
copyright.
be called
That's
the crying
literally all
child.
FNAF is
Meanwhile,
about.
Henry had one kid, a daughter named Charlie. The business partners spent most of their days working, so they both created different ways of taking taking care of their kids. Henry was the robotics genius, so he used his talents to create a new animatronic to watch Charlie for him.
It's
It
a little
was called
odd,
the
I'll be
security
honest.
puppet. This animatronic would sit by the door of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and make sure that Charlie wasn't able to leave the building. This made it so Charlie could play at the restaurant while Henry worked, without Henry having to worry about her leaving the building or getting kidnapped. The robot was linked directly to a green
it's
bracelet
really
that Charlie was
odd
wearing.
that
With
you
Charlie
just
wearing the green bracelet, tried
literally
leaving the
had the
building,
spare
security
time
puppet
to
would
make an
spring into action.
animatronic
William, on the other hand,
dedicated
was
to
the
watching
businessman
over your
of the company.
child.
He cared more about making money, but also
Yet
saving money.
the
Naturally, he decided
idea
to just force his eldest son
is
Michael to babysit while he was at work. Michael was mostly in charge of
like, you know what I'm
babysitting
saying?
the
It's like you
crying
have
child.
enough,
The crying
like
child
Henry
didn't
has
have
enough
many friends,
time
but
to
he
make an
did have a
animatronic to
close
watch
relationship
over
with
his
plushies.
child
These
rather
plushies
than
were
watch his own
characters from his
child.
favorite show,
Like he
Fredbear
had
and
that
Friends.
much time to make an
Fazbear Entertainment's
animatronic to watch his
newest
child
cartoon,
than to
featuring
just
Fredbear, Freddy,
then to
Bonnie,
just, you know,
Chica, and
have
Foxy.
like
The crying
it's
child's favorite
interesting.
character, though, was Fredbear. He especially loved his Fredbear plushie. Although he loved the plushie version of the characters, the animatronics would soon become a different story. One day, while visiting Fredbear's family diner, the crying child saw something that would scar him for the rest of his life. While wandering the restaurant, he walked by the employees only room, where an employee accidentally left the door open. Inside the room was his father, William Afton, helping another employee into a spring Bonnie suit. But through the eyes of the crying child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic suit. The crying child was so young that he wasn't educated on how the mascot characters worked, so seeing a human be put inside of one terrified him. When a child experiences something traumatic, their brain
Okay, I like
naturally
this
tries
explanation.
finding ways
I like
to
this
deal with
explanation.
that trauma. The crying child's way of dealing with his trauma was by creating an imaginary friend.
Okay,
This
compared to Game
imaginary
Theory's
friend took the
timeline,
form of the object
instead
he
of
loved
Fredbear
the
being
most,
like a
his Fredbear plushie.
weird
His new imaginary
nanny
friend,
cam.
Fredbear, followed him wherever he went.
FNAF's explanation is that it is a coping mechanism for the crying child because he was scarred on
When the crying child was overwhelmed, the plushie would talk to him,
seeing an
and try to
employee
calm him down.
supposedly
Even when the
get
plushie
stuffed
wasn't
in a suit.
around, it was still able to speak to him because it lived in his mind. While the crying child was dealing with the trauma of seeing what he thinks was someone being stuffed into a suit, his brother Michael was only making it worse. Michael knew about what happened with his younger brother and used it against him. Every day while babysitting the crying child, Michael would put on a Foxy mask, hide somewhere in the house, and jump scare his little brother.
Oh no, not this one. The very thing that practically got Markiplier.
I was worried about other stuff, like trying to survive.
Not this one. Oh no. Oh no. It's gonna pop out. It's gonna pop out. Right there. It's gonna pop out. It's gonna pop out. I know he is. I'm waiting for it. It's scaring me. You're not scaring me. I'm ready. I know you're not. That's scaring me. You're not scaring me. That's scaring me. I know where this is. You're not scaring me. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do it. You don't got the balls for this. You can't scare me. You can't scare me.
Through all of Michael's bullying, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear would comfort him and talk him through the situation, saying, "You know he is hiding again. Be careful. Tomorrow is another day." Michael wasn't the only one bullying the crying child, though. The local kids in the neighborhood heard about why the crying child was so scared of the pizzeria, even making up fake rumors related to what the crying child thought he saw there. "You'd better watch out. I hear they come to life at night. And if you die, they hide your body and never tell anyone." But all of this bullying would come to a head on one special day.
I'm starting to realize
the
that
crying
almost
child's
everyone in the
birthday.
FNAF
Ironically,
universe
his
is
birthday party
just
was
kind of
being
an
held
asshole.
at Fredbear's family diner. Because he was so terrified of being at the pizzeria, he hid under the table, not knowing that Michael and his friends were nearby, planning a prank that would go terribly wrong.
It's gonna be a jump scare.
Make sure you grab your pizza. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie will be performing in 5 minutes.
It's like a jump scare. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to scare me. It's right there. Yeah, I knew it. Damn, you made your way very fast over there. I'm not gonna lie. Oh.
Michael and his friends lifted the crying child up to, quote, give Fredbear a big kiss, and Fredbear bit down on him, leaving his body to go limp. Michael and his friends quickly stopped laughing. Because of Michael's immature behavior, his terrified younger brother paid the ultimate price. Although the crying child was badly hurt, he didn't immediately die. Because of the immense brain damage, he slipped into a coma. After being treated at a hospital, the crying child was taken home so he could be comfortable, surrounded by his only friends, his plushies. In the crying child's final moments, Michael decides to apologize for what he's done, saying, "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry." After Michael speaks, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear, created out of the trauma he experienced, continues doing what it's done the whole time. It comforts him, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." This would be the final thing the crying child hears before he dies. The crying child's spirit would then live on in the Fredbear suit, the thing that took his life. The crying child's death wasn't just an accident. It was directly caused by Michael's recklessness. This is something that Michael could potentially face jail time for, so it needed to be covered up. Since the crying child was being kept at home, no one else knew that he ended up passing away. So William and Michael ended up burying the crying child's body in the middle of the woods where no one would find him.
So this is why he buried
no
them
flowers,
there.
just a pile of dirt, an unmarked grave, and a lifetime's worth of guilt that Michael will have to live with. Shortly after the incident, Fredbear's family diner was quickly shut down, and Fredbear was completely wiped from existence. The Fredbear and Friends TV show turned into Freddy and Friends on tour. The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie Springlock suits also ended up being moved into the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, mainly being used as spare suits if one of the Freddy's animatronics broke down. The death of William Afton's youngest son was a pivotal moment in this story, specifically William Afton's story. This was the first domino to fall. A father losing his son is a traumatic situation, and while any other father would take time to grieve, be sad, and properly deal with such a big loss, William Afton took a different route. Afton definitely was upset about his son dying, but it wasn't because he felt bad for his son, it was because it was embarrassing to him. William Afton was a narcissist. He had little to no empathy. All he cared about was work and comparing himself to his business partner, Henry. Henry had a wife, a kid, and a talent for robotics that Afton was utterly jealous of. The death of the crying child sent Afton over the edge, because while Henry's family was still perfect, his was now broken. Henry and William had different ways of taking care of their kids, and while Afton employing his eldest son failed, Henry's security puppet succeeded. Henry's daughter Charlie lived on. Afton had a hard time dealing with this feeling of embarrassment.
I mean, it's like, I understand.
A local bar called Junior's. One night, though, after drinking a little too much and getting kicked out of the bar, he decided that he was going to settle the score with Henry. Afton, drunk and filled with rage, drove from the bar to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Okay, we're still going with the drunken act of violence. Okay, we're still doing that.
Afton planned on risking everything to kill Henry's daughter, Charlie. He didn't care if he got caught, and he didn't care if he went to prison. But when Afton got to Freddy's, he noticed that Charlie was standing outside by herself.
So it wasn't like it wasn't like a drunken accidental act of violence like Game Theory showed. Instead, it was like premeditated. Which I guess this minigame kind of does show that it was premeditated, but whatever. Well, I wouldn't say premeditated. Okay, maybe not premeditated.
As Afton sped
maybe
away,
just...
the puppet noticed that Charlie was outside in the pouring rain. It then did what it was programmed to do and went to protect her.
You're a little too late for that, buddy. But alright,
as the puppet got closer to Charlie's body, the rain started making it short-circuit. It was forced to crawl its way over to her, until the rain got to be too much, and the puppet shut down right next to Charlie's body. While Charlie and the puppet lay lifeless next to each other, Afton was speeding home, driving right past where he buried his son and the bar he got kicked out of. When Afton got home, he was met with his wife sitting in the living room watching TV, and Michael in his bedroom. Afton was a drunk and abusive father, and fully blamed Michael for what happened to his youngest son. Mrs. Afton
Understandable.
tells him to leave Michael alone because he's had a tough day, but Afton doesn't listen. He goes over to Michael's room and pounds on the door, only for the door to be locked. He then makes his way around the house to try and find a way in from the outside. But once he gets to Michael's bedroom window, he notices that it's broken, and Michael
Billy,
is gone. Michael was so
purple
upset
guy,
by what he did to his
pink
brother that
guy,
he would sometimes see visions of Fredbear
yellow
appear
mustard
and
man
disappear.
guy
Tonight,
thing.
Fredbear appeared outside his bedroom window, and it almost felt like his brother was calling out to him from beyond the grave. This would happen frequently, and every time it did, Michael would run to the spot where they buried his younger brother, only to find that nothing had changed. His younger brother was still gone and buried in the ground. Afton knew Michael did this often, saying, "Ran off to that place again. He will be sorry when he gets back." The guilt of killing his younger brother haunted Michael in his real life, but also in his dreams. Michael would constantly have nightmares about the animatronic that took his brother's life. These were the exact same nightmares his younger brother used to have every night, now passed on to him.
That sounds like karma for you, my boy. Okay, FNAF 4 gameplay. Is this what he dreamed of? I guess it would make sense. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell no. You're trying to scare me. It's not there. Nothing's there. No, you're not scaring me. Okay, that's a little terrifying, actually. You might want to close the door. Oh, no. Don't scare me, my guy. Come on, man. We don't have to do this. I see it! I want to check. It's not there! Okay. That's just kind of terrifying.
After the death of Charlie, Fazbear Entertainment tried their best at covering it up. Fortunately
Okay,
for
buddy,
them
calm
and for
down.
William, the crime was committed outside, where no one was around to witness it. William was able to get away with everything, while Fazbear Entertainment never spoke of the incident again. The security puppet was quickly moved to the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where the retired Fredbear and Spring Bonnie suits resided. But something was different about the security puppet. Dark tears now appeared on the mask of the animatronic. Dark tears that weren't there before. This is something that Afton quickly noticed the next day when he went into work. He'd heard about what happened moments after he sped off. He knew the security puppet was found laying next to Charlie's body.
Okay,
so does
so
that mean
this
Charlie's
is
soul now
interesting.
resided
Okay.
in the puppet? William definitely
This
noticed
is-
that the puppet looked different, almost like it was haunted.
Okay,
almost
so
like
compared
it
to
was
the Game
thinking.
Theory
Other
timeline,
employees would
like,
eventually notice the
according
same
to
thing.
Mr. Bad,
I don't like that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere.
After realizing the security
It's
puppet may
always,
be
like,
possessed by the spirit of Charlie, Afton went back and
Mr.
looked at
Manny
the crime
Petty
child's
thought,
Fredbear
like-
plushie, only to find
like,
that it also
William's
seemed to be
suspicion
haunted.
happened
The
on his,
crime
like,
child
second
feared
murder
for his
spree
life
for
every
the
single
grand
day,
reopening.
and that plushie
That's where
was
his
something he
suspicions
was able
start.
to
But
cry
FNAF,
before his
like,
agony
he's
into.
saying, like,
Afton
hey, it
believed
started
that
with
this
Charlie.
is what caused the plushie to appear haunted. It wasn't made alive by the spirit of his son, it was made alive by the agony and fear his son poured into it. Afton quickly became obsessed with the concept of haunted objects, and more
Okay.
specifically, the power of human emotion. He needed to
Okay.
find out if this is something he could take advantage of. Afton then used all of his money he made from Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to build a giant underground facility directly under his house.
Okay.
It was here that he would try to recreate what happened with his son, to recreate the fear
Define
and agony he
recreate.
experienced. In order to do this, Afton didn't take any chances. He needed to replicate exactly what his son
What do you
grew
exact?
every day. In order to do this,
What the
Afton
fuck
built
is
a
this?
replica of his house underground,
What?
along with his son's daily walk to Fredbear's family diner. He
Daily
also
walk?
built a makeshift bedroom where
Huh.
he could force kids to have the same nightmare every night.
What
Afton would
the
sit in his
fuck?
office watching them
Okay,
on
you
the
lost me right
cameras.
here.
Cameras that could be accessed using the passcode 1983, the year his son got bit. He also kept the crying child's Fredbear plushie on the desk as a reminder of what he was trying to replicate. In the makeshift bedroom, there were dummy animatronics that wheeled down the hallway.
What?
But the kids wouldn't see them as just blank dummies on wheels. Afton would pump hallucinogenic gas into the room
Huh?
to get the kids to think that what they were seeing was a monster. These nightmare gas canisters were being stored all throughout his underground facility. And
Okay,
on the bed of
my
this makeshift
head's
bedroom
hurting
was
right
a
now.
Freddy
What?
plushie, in the hopes that the kids would pour their fear and agony into the plush, like his son did to his plushie. On the other side of the bunker, where Afton recreated the crying
hurting my
child's
head.
walk
You're
to
hurting
Fredbear's,
my
he
head.
placed a bunch of Fredbear plushies all over the place. These Fredbear plushies
You're
had
hurting my head.
walkie-talkies
Dude, let me
inside
get
of them.
this
This
straight.
was
This
Afton's way
entire
of recreating his son's imaginary
recreation.
friend that would talk to him wherever he went. Afton would speak to the kids through his walkie-talkie sitting in his private office. After
So they
setting up
were
the
nanny
bunker,
cams
Afton
either
was
way.
only missing one more thing: the kids to run these experiments on. He needed a way to kidnap and capture kids without being caught, and he had
Well,
the perfect way to do it.
What? Hang on, no, stop right there. I need.
The show will begin momentarily.
The point of
Everyone, please stay
Circus
in
Baby
your
Entertainment and Rentals, according to
Enter Circus
FNAF,
Baby
is to
and the
create
Funtime animatronics.
a
These
Saw
robots were specifically built
Trap-like
by Afton to
experiment
capture kids, featuring
regarding-
Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime
what?
Foxy, and Ballora.
Okay,
They feature
fine. You know what?
advanced
No,
technologies such as parental
I'll let
tracking,
it go.
voice
You know what?
mimicking / luring,
I've
and
heard-
storage tanks. Circus Baby, the star of the
I've
group,
heard
was even able
plenty
to
of
make
more
ice
bullshit,
cream as a way to
especially
lure
from
kids
the
to
Part
her.
4
Once the
timeline
kid
of
got
Game
too
Theory's
close, a giant
Ultimate
claw would
FNAF
reach
timeline.
out, grab
Be
them,
honest,
and lock
you
them
know what?
in
And I think I
animatronics
can let this
storage
one
tank.
slide.
Some of the board members from Fazbear Entertainment were suspicious of these new animatronics.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests.
I
She
just
can even
realized
dispense
this is.
ice cream.
With all due respect,
I just realized
those
that
aren't the
that's kind of
design
what
choices
William
we
sounds
were
like.
Curious about Mr. Afton.
Afton even created a new restaurant for these animatronics called Circus Baby's Pizza World. Elizabeth,
Circus
William Afton's daughter,
Baby's
was
Pizza
fascinated by
World.
Circus Baby. All she wanted to do was play with her, but Afton wouldn't let her.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? You let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go?
I like how he
He
just
strictly
randomly
told her to
FNAF
stay
just
away from the
tells him
animatronics.
that he just
but
randomly has a
one
kid,
day, she
or maybe
didn't
she.
listen. On the opening day of Circus Baby's
Or maybe her
Pizza
sprite
World,
was
another
shown,
domino
but I
would
don't think it
fall in
was.
Afton's
And I
life,
like how
Elizabeth
she just
would
randomly
soon be
pops
the
up out of
victim
nowhere.
of his terrible misdeeds.
I can do something
Like
special.
so
Did
so
you
far,
know
this
that?
entire timeline has no
I can
mention
make
of
ice cream,
Elizabeth whatsoever.
although I only
I guess
did it
like it
once.
does make sense from a
What
timeline
a
perspective. Like
wonderful
she's not really
day.
important, but either way, I
was
don't
in
think
a
I've
small
still.
room with
Either way, I
balloons
still
and
don't think I've
tables.
saw her sprite
I would
like at
always
all
count the
when
children.
showcasing the
Not
families.
sure why. They usually
I could be
played
wrong, and I
together in
probably
groups
was
of
blind,
2
and just
or
didn't
3.
notice. But
There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Time to play.
oh, I just realized what this was. This was the scoop. This is the scooping thing.
Ice cream.
Oh wow.
Something happened when there was 1. I was no longer myself. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment.
In an instant, Elizabeth was grabbed by Circus Baby and thrown into her stomach hatch. The sheer force of her being grabbed and thrown into the robot's storage tank was enough to kill her almost instantly. This is something that William wasn't able to test. That was
right.
until his daughter became the test. William Afton now lost another one of his kids, but this time it was all his fault. After just one day of being open, Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down. Afton covered up the incident by telling the public that the
It's
restaurant
almost
shut
like
down
you keep
due to gas
and you
leaks, but
keep
not everyone
neglecting your
bought that
damn
story. The
children.
local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, in other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been canceled due to reported gas leaks in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. One local is quoted as saying, "Everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it." A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture. That local entrepreneur, William Afton, successfully covered up everything. He was able to bring Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics back down into his bunker, but once he got them there, he noticed something was different about Circus Baby. One distinct feature about Circus Baby was her blue eyes, but what once was blue eyes now were green. The same
If I was
color as
William, I would not notice this. The puppet, I can understand. The tears just randomly appeared. Okay, that makes sense. I can just understand that. But Circus Baby, those are eyes. I'm not gonna pay attention to a robot's eyes. The puppet was a different thing because it was pretty obvious to see that the tears were very much added. The eyes, though, that's a different thing. It's like, wow. Wow, you had such ocean blue eyes, and then all of a sudden just emerald green. For a robot?
One step closer to harnessing the power of life itself. But one successful experiment wasn't enough. Just like the fear experiments he built in the bunker, he needed to
again the
replicate
fear
exactly
experiments.
what happened. He needed
Where
to
did that come
recreate
from?
the
I
accident,
think I need
and he
more
knew
context
exactly
on that
how he was
idea.
going to do it. Using the
Fear
Funtime
experiments.
animatronics again wasn't
Look, I
an
need more
option.
context
Circus
on
Baby's
it.
Pizza World was shut down, and the public was already getting too suspicious of the animatronics.
Yeah.
But he didn't need the Funtime animatronics. He was going to run the experiment himself. On June 26, 1985, William Afton made his way to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There, he would put on the old spring bodysuit from Fredbear's to lure 5 kids into the back room.
Okay. So, him murdering children in FNAF's timeline comes from the idea of wanting to run an experiment like the fear experiments.
Hello. Looking for a friend?
The water's clear, come swim with me.
And okay, and with Game Theory's ultimate timeline, it explained that he just like pure, like the whole drunken rage thing, and just gets just murders Charlie in the back alley. That they said that hey, he just went insane from there. And I gotta admit, I do like the sequence, this very sequence right here. I really do like the sequence.
One by one, Afton killed them and stuffed their bodies into the animatronics. Susie was first, being stuffed into Chica. Gabriel went into Freddy, Jeremy into Bonnie, Fritz into Foxy, and then there was Cassidy, who went into Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy. At this point, Afton had no idea that the crying child spirit was in Golden Freddy, so he didn't think twice about shoving Cassidy in there. The way Afton killed Cassidy, though, was different from the rest. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were just regular animatronics. Afton had no choice but to kill them, then stuff them into the suits. But Golden Freddy wasn't just a regular animatronic, it was a Springlock suit. The same Springlock suit
I like
that
this,
took
I like
his
this, I like
youngest
this, I
son's
like this,
life.
I like this.
Afton was aware of how dangerous the Springlocks were. Any bit of moisture or too much movement would cause them to snap shut, slowly killing whoever was inside. So that's exactly what he did to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the Springlocks snapped shut, cementing Cassidy's death as the most brutal of them
this
all.
one
Freddy,
explains
Bonnie, Chica,
it.
Foxy, and Golden Freddy weren't the only animatronics sitting in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, though. They were joined by the security puppet, which contained the soul of Henry's daughter, Charlie. Once Afton was gone, Charlie jumped into action, almost acting as a guide for their souls, properly giving them life inside of each animatronic. After the incident, the kids were quickly reported missing by their families, and although the security cameras caught Afton luring the kids away, he wasn't able to fully get in trouble. Since he was wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, they were never able to prove it was actually him.
Okay,
Afton
makes sense.
also hid the kids'
Makes
bodies
sense.
where no one would ever look, so the bodies were never found. Unbelievably, Afton was able to get away with yet another crime.
Okay.
Because of all the bad press that came from the missing children's incident, people stopped coming to the pizzeria. After months of
Makes
customers
sense.
no longer showing up, Fazbear Entertainment officially shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Shortly after the pizzeria shut down, Afton decided to pull the Funtime animatronics out of retirement and finally get his underground facility fully operational. He knew he couldn't try opening another Circus Babies restaurant, so he had a new idea.
Due to the massive success and even more so the
Oh,
unfortunate closing of
the
Freddy
thing
Fazbear's
that
Pizza,
I'm
it
using
was
to
clear
shout out
that
the
the
creator
stage was set. No pun
and like the
intended, for
mention
another contender
for their
in
channel,
children's entertainment.
it's blocking
Unlike
it
most
slightly.
entertainment
No,
venues,
it's fine.
our
You guys
robotic
can deal with it, I'm
entertainers
sure.
are rented out for private parties during the day.
Afton opened Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental. This way, he could rent out the Funtime animatronics to local birthday parties, capture kids, and bring them back to his underground bunker.
Discreetly? Okay.
While Afton was
Sure,
running
let's
his
go.
rental business,
Whatever.
Fazbear Entertainment was
No,
determined
whatever.
to try
Fuck it. Who
opening
cares?
another
I
pizzeria. In
feel
the
like that
summer
would
of
raise more
1987,
suspicion towards the
Fazbear
animatronics, but
Entertainment
alright,
opened
whatever.
the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, this time with brand new versions of their original characters. These were called the Toy Animatronics, and they were once again built by Henry. Henry was aware of what happened in 1985, and especially of what happened to his daughter, so he was determined to make sure that never happened again.
Or
these new toy animatronics were equipped with
we
facial
could just
recognition
stop
systems
making
that were linked
animatronics.
directly to a criminal database. The security
We
puppet
could
was also
just,
brought out
you
of
know,
retirement,
not
but instead of working
do this.
security, it sat quietly in the prize corner. Freddy, Bonnie,
You know,
Chica, Foxy,
maybe
Golden
it's
Freddy,
like,
and
you know,
Spring
this
Bonnie
whole
were
entire
also
timeline
moved
really
to
just
the
involves
new
child
pizzeria,
neglect.
and it's
So
revealed that
how about
these
we just
animatronics
not
were
make any
mostly used
animatronics,
for
or
spare
instead,
parts.
how about we just stop making, you know, animatronics in general? Let's just stop opening restaurants while we're at it. I would be very interested to see.
This means that the haunted metal of the original Freddy's animatronics was now being put into the toy animatronics, causing the toys to also now be possessed. After Afton got away with the first set of murders, he needed to see if the kids' spirits were possessing the animatronics. In order to see for himself, Afton went back to work at the new pizzeria as a daytime security guard. While Afton was working the day shift, Jeremy Fitzgerald was working the night shift. Jeremy worked there for 5 nights, and unfortunately for him, because the kids possessing the animatronics were killed by an adult, they were extremely aggressive to any adult they encountered.
They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Meanwhile, Afton decided to pull the same trick he did at the old Freddy's location, gaining 5 more victims.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Afton used the Spring Bonnie suit to pull the same stunt again on 5 more kids. But as he was committing the murders, Charlie from inside the puppet was actively trying to save the kids. She tried enlisting the help of the other animatronics, but it was too late. Afton had already finished what he started. Not only that, him seeing the puppet and Freddy walking around the pizzeria trying to stop him was all the proof he needed that his experiments were successful.
So
the kids he put
that
into
was
the original suits were
that
haunting
was
the
the proof.
animatronics.
That was not the
But
beginning of
there
his
was
suspicion,
one problem.
unlike in the
Afton
Ultimate
knew
Timeline
that
for
the
Game
haunted
3.
metal of the
That was his
endoskeletons was
suspicion.
the key to
That
everything.
proved
But the
everything
animatronics
about
were
his
trapped
suspicions
at
about
the
the animatronics
pizzeria.
being
There was
possessed.
no way
Okay,
he could
got
bring
it.
them back to
Sorry
his
for being
underground
silent.
bunker.
I
He
just
couldn't
don't
get
like
to the
talking around
animatronics
my
if the
family
pizzeria
when
was
I'm
still
making a
open
video.
and active. So he needed to find a way to make sure the pizzeria shuts down and fast. Instead of stuffing the new set of victims into the toy animatronics, he decided to leave the kids out in plain sight, scattered throughout the pizzeria. This was a guaranteed way to get the pizzeria shut down.
Sounds about right.
A few hours after Afton committed the murders, Jeremy Fitzgerald showed up for his night shift, unaware of what happened that day.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there?
Okay.
Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Listen, just finish your shift.
Didn't get the memo. Okay, that actually makes sense.
We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
The next day, during Jeremy's day shift, one of the animatronics bit him in the head. This was infamously known as the bite of 87. Meanwhile, Afton successfully got the
This just
pizzeria
keep
shut
happening.
down. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, after being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. Since the toy
Corporate
animatronics were now being
Fazbear
scrapped, he knew he could get away
Entertainment.
with taking
You
their
done that again
endoskeletons.
by
But
being
he also knew
complete
that he
greedy
couldn't risk showing his face
douchebags.
at the pizzeria again, so he got his oldest son Michael to do the work for him. William was easily able to get Michael to do whatever he wanted. William was abusive and manipulative,
Yeah,
while
sounds
Michael
about right.
was haunted by the guilt.
Yeah, this sounds about
Because
right.
of this,
I'll be
Michael
honest.
basically acted as William's puppet.
Yeah.
Michael showed up for the night shift at the now closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza under a code name, Fritz Smith. At the end of his shift, he would
Fritz
successfully
Smith.
steal the toy animatronics endoskeletons for his father, causing him to get fired his first day on the job.
Tampering
due
with
to
an.
tampering
Oh,
with the
okay.
animatronics.
Okay, that makes
As it
sense. That
said
makes
in the
sense.
local
That makes
newspaper,
sense.
While Fazbear Entertainment
I
scrapped
think it
the
makes
toy
sense. I don't know.
animatronics, the original Freddy, Bonnie,
$20
Chica, and Foxy were going to be fixed
$10.
up and reused,
Amazing.
and that's exactly what they did. After the
Congratulations,
1987 Freddy's location
Fazbear
shut down, they
Entertainment,
opened yet another
corporate
location, this time
entities
using the
being
exact
some
same
douche
building as the
bags
first
and
Freddy
greedy
Fazbear's
stuff.
Pizza. As you can imagine,
Congratulations.
this didn't work out great for the business. People already had a bad impression of Fazbear Entertainment, so
Yeah.
using the same building
I
that
can
the
see
original
why.
murders
Not
took
because of the
place in
murder,
didn't
because
help
they're
business. Customers
they only
barely
care about
showed
the
up to
money.
new pizzeria, leading it to shut down by the end of 1993.
It's like if
Although this was
Disney
bad news for Fazbear Entertainment,
was just
this was
always
great
in the
news
red.
for William Afton. Afton was
That's
able
what it
to
feels like.
acquire
It's
the
just like
endos
if
of the toy
Disney was
animatronics, but
always in
that
the red,
wasn't enough.
and they just
He
kept
needed
trying and
all
trying
of
again.
the haunted endoskeletons, especially the ones in the original animatronics. Once the pizzeria shut down, Afton came up with the plan to steal the endos from the animatronics. Each pizzeria was designed with something called a safe room.
As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronics or security system. This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and is always off camera.
This room
Yeah,
was
that
hidden
sounds like
from
the
guests
perfect
and
murder room.
invisible to the animatronics. Afton would use this to his advantage, luring each of the animatronics to the safe room and dismantling them one by one. The kids possessing these animatronics were the same kids he lured into the back room all those years ago. He planned to use the same trick to lure the same kids all over again.
Okay. The same trick. What do you mean by same trick? Like, are you talking about the whole Shadow Freddy thing? Like, the animatronics themselves, they saw it as like a, they didn't see it as a trick. It was a familiar trick, I guess you could say. But it was like a trick that Afton used. Like, he was dressed up as he was like a familiar character to them. And he wants them to follow him. Okay, I think I understand. I don't know. I'm just assuming. Right, it's hidden to them.
Once he finished dismantling each animatronic and stealing their endoskeleton, he brought them down to his underground bunker, where he would melt them all down into one liquid substance called Remnant. Not only did Afton rob these kids of their lives, he would use their souls long after they're gone for his own personal gain.
Alright. Okay, I do like the animations here. I do like the visual animation keys. Visual animation key. What the fuck does that mean? I do like it. Okay. I do gotta admit, this is pretty. Also realizing that they are those endoskeletons are the kids. That their souls are attached to the metal. So that is something that I also have to keep in mind, which is what makes it hurt a little more, because you gotta remember those are the kids. Those endoskeletons are the kids right now.
By melting down the endos, he successfully created Remnant. This substance, containing the spirits of all of the missing children, was silver in color, and if kept at the right temperature, was malleable. Afton didn't want to risk testing the Remnant on himself, so he injected it
sounds
into
like a bad idea.
Animatronics. Once he did, the animatronics
nothing. But why wouldn't I test it on myself? You know, nothing like injecting a bunch of hot liquid metal into my veins.
Spring Bonnie suit. But once he got there, he was met with the spirits of the 5 missing children, trapping him inside the safe room.
This
Cassidy,
I sort of don't understand.
Freddy, chased Afton around the room and forced him
like,
to get into the Spring Bonnie
souls
suit.
are attached to the endoskeletons, which was melted down into a remnant. But then here we are, there are ghosts. So it makes me question, are they still tied to the remnant right now? Or are they not?
Spirit could live on as long as he was inside the suit.
And I do like this explanation right here. Like, instead of having an quote-unquote iron will to live by game theory, Afton just knows that he will live despite technically dying. So I guess he'll be a zombie, and he knew that, but whatever. I don't understand the whole ghost part, because they keep saying that people keep saying that there's the ghost souls are attached to the endoskeleton, which would be melted down into remnant, which then gets all the whole life stuff, power, and whatever.
It wouldn't be the last.
But it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm trying to figure out how the hell does that work, because we clearly saw them as ghosts.
The underground bunker was left abandoned. But even with Afton gone, the rental business continued on its own. All of the runtime animatronics containing the spirits of the missing children and even his daughter Elizabeth were still being rented out during the day and then brought right back down to the bunker. All the spirits wanted to do was escape, but they were always put back underground. After Afton went missing, his eldest son Michael, who's been blindly helping his father, remembered what his father told him if he ever went missing. If William wasn't there to finish his work, Michael would do it for him. Afton's underground facility was always off limits to Michael, but since he was now gone, Michael had no choice.
I don't understand this part now.
Worked every day. Although Michael was helping out his father by stealing some of the endos from the animatronics back in the day, he never exactly knew what William was doing until he got down into the bunker.
So Michael technically, based on what I'm hearing, Michael technically knew about the bunker, but he just didn't know what the bunker was for or what was happening in the bunker. That's what I'm hearing.
Over the several days he visited the bunker, he learned more about what his father was up to. He learned about the massive facility his father built, complete with multiple rooms conducting fear experiments. He learned the truth behind the Funtime animatronics and how they were actually designed to kidnap kids. And he learned through the voice of Baby exactly how his sister died.
I guess we'll go with that.
Standing by herself, my stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least not until she stepped closer.
But as the week went on, Baby was conducting a plan of her own. A plan to escape the bunker, using Michael's body. Elizabeth was no longer the person Michael remembered her as. She was entirely devoted to her father, and would do anything to make him proud of her. At the
I don't understand that part. Why? Why did Elizabeth get that mentality though? I don't understand that. I feel
this creature
some of that needs to be explained or at least interpreted a little bit better.
To escape the bunker looking like an animatronic. They needed a human body to walk around in.
I do like how this timeline is like made though. It has explanations, but it also gives me like an animation to get visually back into what's happening. and he's also using literal voice lines and dialogue from the games itself, like this part, like the ending, like the ending of Sister Location, like the whole scooping room thing. I like how this I like how this is made, you know.
There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go when we look like this.
Yeah.
But if we looked like you, then we could hide.
Mm-hmm.
If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
Michael Afton's insides got scooped out and replaced by Ennard, helping all of the souls to escape the facility. With every passing day after this happened, Michael looked more and more like a walking zombie. His skin was starting to turn purple, and people started to notice. Michael's body was no longer a good disguise for Ennard, so Ennard ejected itself from Michael. But because the scooper was also a remnant injector, when Michael Afton was scooped, he was also injected with Remnant. The Remnant made it so even after Ennard was gone, he was still able to survive.
You know, your insides are scooped out, and I highly doubt your skeleton is also there. So, how did you get up?
Successfully freed his sister from the underground facility, he also learned about all of his father's terrible misdeeds. His loyalty to his father turned to disgust. It was time for him to end all of this.
Nice.
Papa, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Okay.
Michael would spend years
Okay, I
searching
do
for
like
his
that.
father
I do
with
like
no
that
luck,
transition.
until a new ad in the local newspaper caught his attention. Someone decided to open something called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Local amusement park is getting ready to scare your socks off with a new attraction based on the unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Featuring actual relics from the decades-old pizzeria, this new attraction
I
is
do
guaranteed
like
to bring
how
back your
there is.
childhood
I
in
do like the
worst possible
continuity
way, as if
of this
using the crimes of his
timeline,
father to make a profit
opposed to
wasn't
part
bad
3
enough. They also went
being
back to the old
slightly a mess,
pizzerias and collected any objects they
them
could find
not having
to put on display
a single
at the
clue
attraction.
what's happening,
Michael
and
immediately
they're just
applied for the
assuming
job
what's
of the
happening.
security guard with the sole intention of burning the place to the ground. When he got there, he saw the remnants of his past, the shells of all of the animatronics, missing every single one of their endoskeletons. He knew they could only find the shells of the animatronics because he and his father stole their endoskeletons.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
all
that
those
makes sense
years
to me.
ago,
Actually,
leaving
yeah, I
only
can
the
see that.
shells behind. On day 2 of working at the attraction, he got word that they found a real animatronic.
You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
This real animatronic ended up being his father, still inside the Spring Bonnie suit he died in decades ago.
And he
Even though
still has his
father was now
organs,
in the building
and
with him,
it hasn't
he still
been
decided to go
hasn't
through with
completely
his
decayed
plan,
yet.
all in an
He still has
effort
his
to end
organs.
his father once and for all. Michael then rigged the wiring in the building to catch fire, burning the horror attraction to the ground with his father inside. The local newspaper would write about the fire, saying a new local attraction based on an ancient pizzeria chain burned down overnight. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment it seems to have been caused by faulty wiring. Although the fire destroyed most of everything in the building, William, miraculously, was able to survive.
Now, how
William
did they
was
get
now
that
free,
shot? You
roaming
know?
the outside world
How'd they
along
get
with the
that
souls
picture,
of missing
you know?
children,
I got
Elizabeth,
wonder.
and Charlie inside the puppet. Since Michael wasn't able to end everything, someone else needed to step in. That someone was Henry Emily. Afton's old business partner and father of Charlie heard about the fire at Fazbear's Fright, along with the rumors of the
It's
various
really weird that
animatronic
you
creatures
now enter back
roaming
in the
the
story.
streets.
I
Henry
have
was
to admit,
determined to put an end
it's a little
to
odd
all
still.
of this.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence.
You know, with the music, this makes it really sound really more intense and epic, honestly.
Now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet.
He's talking about
not
suicide,
until I undo
kids.
what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again.
Yep.
He overpowered them again.
Yep, he did do that.
He robbed them of the only thing that they had again.
Yeah, he did. He also did do that.
I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now. Not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
By gathering all of the animatronics in one place and locking them in the same room, he would be able to burn them all to the ground for good, effectively freeing their spirits in the process. In order to do this, Henry created a new restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place.
Wow!
He knew that the spirits and William
couldn't at least have
resist
given
coming
it,
back to
I don't
the
know,
new
a
location,
cooler
even
name
if it
than
was
that.
all just a trap. Charlie was different though. She was smarter than the rest, so Henry knew she wouldn't be as easily fooled. So he created an animatronic called Lefty, standing for Lord.
Okay, now I need to know Scott's mindset on this. How the hell did he come up with this? That has to be some pure meth
while trying
to
to
come
find
up
someone
with
that would
half
help
of
him
this.
carry out his plan.
Like, it
one
has to
person showed up for the job. A person who was also determined to finally end all of this. Michael Afton.
Nice.
Day after day, the animatronics roaming the streets would show up in the alleyway
Now,
next to the
when you
pizzeria.
say roaming the
Baby,
streets,
aka
do you mean
Elizabeth,
like
the souls
at
of innocent
night?
children,
Because I
and
think
the
that would
crying
make more
child now
sense.
appearing
You know,
as Uncle
considering
Freddy,
there's
Charlie,
probably
and
less
Lefty,
people out
and his
at
father,
night.
William, all showed up in the back alley. Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them into a facility under the pizzeria, designed to be a maze with no exit, where the animatronics would roam around without even knowing they're trapped, until the end of the week, where they would all be burned to the ground. With all of the souls, including William himself, now in one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing. All of this remnant now in one place was all that they wanted, until Henry stepped in.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No, this was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch. Listen.
Okay.
And be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you
Yeah,
monsters
it's
trapped
best
in the corridors,
thing that
be
could have happened,
still
honestly.
and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms.
I like this version of the timeline better, because in the Ultimate Timeline by Game Theory, they said in part 3 that Michael released the spirits were released during the FNAF 3 fire, right? Which doesn't make sense to me because the remnant was still there, so it had me wondering, does the remnant is the remnant matter? Is it a separate thing?
In the world of Five
Doesn't make sense
the
to
way
me.
a spirit can move on is by them being put into a happy memory. The memory Charlie chose actually comes from the crying child and the day he got bit. Piece by piece, Charlie put that terrible, shattered memory back together. But this time, she would change it into a happy memory. Instead of the crying child getting bit on his birthday, Charlie changed it so that all of
You
the
see,
missing
yeah,
kids
this
in
makes
Charlie
sense to me.
would
Like,
celebrate
they
him,
were
giving
being
him a
burned.
giant
All of
birthday
them are being
By
burned.
changing
It would
that
make
terrible
sense
memory
for
into
them
a happy one and attaching
all
all
at
of the
once
spirits
to
to it,
be
they were able to successfully pass
like
into the
pass on,
afterlife.
you know? Like it doesn't it didn't make sense to me. Like they say the spirits were released during FNAF 3, but that doesn't make sense because we had FNAF 6 where they had to be burned down. And Molten Freddy is a combination of all 5 spirits, or I guess 6. Well, yeah, I guess 6 spirits, but it's like 7? I don't fucking know. Anyway, the point is, Molten Freddy was full of like 6 spirits, and they've
Like I said, they were all able to move on. Except for one.
Well, it it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
Cassidy, the most vengeful spirit of them all, wasn't done yet. He decided to attach his soul to William's, making sure that William was unable to move on. By attaching his spirit to William's, he
so
was
we're going
able
over
to
a
trap
couple of
Afton
stuff
in
tonight.
an endless loop of death. He made Afton relive every one of his terrible misdeeds. The fear experiments, his underground bunker, and the pizzeria where Cassidy was killed. Afton experienced all of this while being attacked and killed over and over again by all of the animatronics from his past. Every time an animatronic would attack him, Cassidy would be there, reminding him that the suffering will never end.
We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us.
Cassidy knew that Afton didn't deserve the afterlife. He deserved to pay for what he's done for all of eternity. But if you
And you
keep
know
up
what?
with the franchise, you
This is
know
perfect.
that that's not
This is a
the
perfect
end
ending
of
to
the
the
story.
time.
Like I said
Alright?
at the beginning
Just
of the video,
this is what
making
Game
a
Theory
FNAF timeline
should have
is
done.
not
They should have
easy.
just
No
fucking
matter what
ignored
anyone says,
its
in
security
broad
breach
strokes, you can
and
explain
everything
the
that
basic
happened after
plots,
that.
but once you get
They
down
should
to
have
the
just ignored
motivations
everything.
and the
They should have
why
just
everything,
ignored
you have
everything,
to
moved
start
on with
filling in
everything,
the
called
blanks
it everything.
yourself.
Called
Some
it.
people who've helped
No,
me fill
no
in the
needing
blanks
to
that
solve
I'd
what
like
the
to
house
shout out
security
are
breach is
Right
going on
Toast
because
for
no
his
one knows
theory
what the hell's
about
going on
Cassidy
that.
being spring-locked in Golden
You know,
Freddy.
they should
I
have just
think
skipped
that makes a
AR.
lot of
They
sense
should have
and
just
is really
skipped Tom
satisfying
London and they just should have
Also,
just
I'd like to
skipped
shout out
Security
Map
Breach.
Pack
That's
for
all they
his
should have
theory
done,
about
and then their
Midnight
timeline
Motors.
probably would have
After
just
trying
been
to
more
figure that
perfect.
minigame out for years,
Just
I
as-
think your explanation makes the most
fucking-
sense. It's
just
important
fucking
for me to
ignore
say that
Security Breach
no one,
entirely.
except for Scott Cawthon himself, knows the exact story.
And I
he's
think that's the
trying to tell.
problem
So
on
please
why
make
no
sure
one
to watch
knows what
other
the hell is
people's
going on
timelines
in
as well, and
Security
come to
Breach.
your
We
own
need
conclusion
answers for
on
that
everything.
bullshit.
And when the time is right, I'll be back to tackle the newer games in this franchise. Until then, make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
And then we got the credits. And I'm not gonna lie, out of this entire video, I think the one thing that was more mind-blowing to me was the idea of fear experiments. I feel like I need to. I feel like I need context. I feel like big. I just feel like I need context. You know, I just feel like I need context for a few things. You know. Like I just feel like I need context on the whole fear experiment. You know? Like I feel like I need to know where that came from, like where that idea came from. You know, like I feel like I really need. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please make sure to like, comment, below, subscribe, and hit that bell, comment, and subscribe buttons to get notified when I'm gonna make. That was FNAF's entire FNAF timeline, or at least his own version. Which he did say, you know, once more things get more revealed and once more games come out or whatever, he'll probably make another version of the timeline, which, I'll be honest, there's probably going to be a lot of reboots, not reboots, there's going to be a lot of rewrites, retcons, and by the time that video ever comes out, like, there's probably going to be like 10 more FNAF games by the time that video comes out, man. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video, subscribe, comment below what you want me to react next. If not, then I'll react to the other things that we have over there. So yeah, like, and just as a reminder, what we have over here, we have the Stream Room Construction, Boxfort City, 1 Billion Year War, Norinu, Himitsu Sentai Gorenja, Kamen Rider Ichigo. Over here, we have the Magic Tomato, Food Battle, Tiny Turtle Family, The Complete Adventure Time Timeline, My Street Episode 1, and Mortal Kombat 9, The Complete Story. So yeah, those are videos that I'm going to be reacting to later down in the future. But yeah, if you guys have a video that you want me to react to, I'll be happy to react to it. It could be, I don't know, in a very cool looking AI thing. Playing Osu again after a long period of time. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video. Just comment down below whether or not you want me to react to anything else, and comment down below what games you want me to play on Monday, because I still play games on Monday, so please make sure to check that out. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified when I make. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video, subscribe. I keep saying the same thing. And see ya!